never lived by the sea before, so to live by the sea is lovely. It's great. It's not that accessible though. You can be by it, but to be on it without being sick is quite difficult. So that's been great. But actually, what's been better still is the countryside. So you can drive north from here for an hour, and you're in fantastic countryside. So 2/3 of the county is an area of outstanding natural beauty, beautiful wooded hills and lanes and tracks, great to explore on a bicycle or walking or whatever. So the countryside actually has had more enduring interest than the sea. My favourite spots depend on how I'm travelling. So the South Downs are great for walking on. So I might go to a place called Jevington, which is a beautiful village. And it's a national park, so the landscape is preserved, looked after, kept free of kind of visual interruptions and what have you. So it's a lovely place. So that's great. And then for cycling, any of the countryside in Sussex is great, but I've grown lately to really appreciate the marshes, which have a kind of very kind of simple visual vocabulary of reeds, ditches, fields and the sky. And there's a lot of wildlife there, a lot of bird life. They're quite peaceful, interesting spaces. So I enjoy the marshes, which I never thought I would, because you kind of think, oh, they're flat and boring, but actually there's an awful lot more to them than meets the eye. So I've got no real connection with the local area at all, which is not unusual for me. As I say, I've moved around a lot and often worked somewhere other than where I live. So really it's then through, if I make connections locally, and often I don't or haven't, it's through interests. So as I say, this is the longest I've been anywhere in terms of the house, and it's through interests that I've started to get to know people locally and invest, if you like, a bit of myself in the local people and so forth. So I guess initially through my work, I contributed to the local community through the local community association. They needed a director on the board, and I got the right kind of experience for that. So I helped out with that for a number of years, and then since then it's through the cycling club. So joining the cycling club, I've always cycled, but I've always done it on my own. So then to join a club and cycle with other people, there's been a new experience. And I've got to know people that way. And I guess I contribute to the club, I lead rides and make people feel welcome if they're new, and kind of contribute to the decision making that the club does. I guess that's the way I do that at the moment. But interestingly, that's my only real tie to this area, other than I like it. I don't feel hugely that I belong to Bexhill, and I'm fiercely pro Bexhill or what have you. Something else I did, I forgot about that. I used to be really into sea fishing, and still am, I suppose, at heart. And there was a campaign an attempt by the local authority to restrict fishing on the beach. And I led a campaign to overthrow that, but in a positive way. And we now have the Bexhill Festival of the Sea, which has become quite a big thing. I think the second year, more than 40,000 people attended it. So whilst I helped kind of get that going to start with, I didn't get involved in the running of it, but I was kind of instrumental in the campaign to push back on the council and get them to do something positive, not negative, and create an opportunity for Bexhill that brings money to the area. Bexhill doesn't do much compared to Hastings or Eastbourne, and that at least is something. So, although people moan about it, of course.